Okay, for f of 0, this is number 15. F of 0, it's the point where x equals 0. You're looking for y, so it's here. So the answer is 0. So f of 0 equals 0 because at that point x coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is also 0. And then the second question, f of x equals -4, which means y equals -4. Looking for x. So you're trying to find a point where the y coordinate is -4. So it's here, -4, and you're going down. So this point, if you read the x component, which is -2. So the answer is x equals -2, or you can write as f of -2 equals -4. We need to, oops. Okay, to determine the slope and the y-intercept of number 16, we subtract 5x from both sides. So 7y equals -5x plus 9, and then divide by 7 from both sides. Okay, so I'll have y equals -5/7x plus 9/7. So the slope, and it's equal to -5/7. That's the slope. And the y-intercept, it's 0,97. That's the y-intercept. Okay, so the meaning of 85,000, that's the slope, that's the depreciation value per year. So it means the truck's value is depreciated 5, or I should say decreased. So I can see there's a decreased, the truck's value is decreased by $5,000 per year, and then the 75,000 is the B, which is the initial value. Well, to determine how long will take the truck to depreciate completely, which is let this be 0, let the whole value be equal to 0, and then solve for t. So if you subtract by 75,000 from both sides, we'll have 85,000 t equals -75,000, and divide by 85,000 from both sides, we'll have t equals 15. Okay. Okay, number 19, we just need to determine the slope. So for the first one, we can subtract x from both sides. So you'll have 2y equals -x plus 5 if you subtract x from both sides. And then divide by 2 from both sides. So y equals -1/2 x plus 5/2. So slope is -1/2. And look at the second equation. If you subtract 2x from both sides, and then we'll get 4y equals -2x plus 7, and divide by 4 from both sides. So y equals -1/2 x plus 7/4, and it's also -1/2. So yes. Sorry, the problem asking for perpendicular. I did not read the problem carefully. No, they're not perpendicular, but they're parallel. They have the same slope, so they are actually parallel lines but not perpendicular lines. And then number 20, you want to find the line equation where the given the equation and state the slope and then point. That's the point slope form. So the slope, if you compare with the formula, okay, slope it's -5. It's not hard to see that. While the point for x1, which is 2, the number behind this minus sign in the parentheses of the x parentheses, while y1 it's actually -6. Because the formula has negative sign. So you need to rewrite this as y minus -6. You want to match your problem as the formula. So that's the answer for that. And then 21, we'll find the equation if we know the slope is 1/4, but the point is -3, -4. As what I mentioned in class, you have two ways to do it. So if you like to use the y equals mx plus b, so method 1, so if you like this y equals mx plus b, now we'll plug this into the, we'll plug the point and the slope. So slope is 1/4 and x is -3. Solve for b. So here we have -4 equals -3/4 plus b, and then you add 3/4 on both sides to find b. So I'll have b equals -4 plus 3/4. Well, find the common denominator. So -4, it's -4 times 4/4. 4 is my common denominator, right? So it'll be -16/4 plus 3/4 b. Sorry. Okay, so do simple math. Okay, that's your b. So if you put together, the solution should be y equals, okay, the m is negative, what's the m? M is given as 1/4 x minus 13/4. That's how you get the equation. So just let me write it better. This is b and this is b. You just plug the point and the slope into the slope intercept form and then solve for b, and then plug the m and then b, and use the given m and the b you calculated to get the equation. That's one way. Now another way is to use the point slope form. So method 2, we'll plug that everything into the point slope form. So we know the point is -3 is the point, and m is 1/4. So we'll minus -4 equals 1/4 times x minus -3. So y plus 4 equals 1/4 times x plus 3, and distribute, that's 1/4 x plus 3/4. Same thing, as you can see. So we have y equals 1/4 x plus 3/4 minus 4. Use the same way, find the common denominator. You can find the answer is 1/4 x minus 13/4. So same thing. That's number 21. Let's look at number 22. So 22, you're given the point through -5, -7, and you want to find the line which is parallel to this new line. So we need to find the slope first. So given this line, let's subtract 6x. Okay, and then divide by 5 to get my slope. Okay, we'll only need the slope. Okay, so now this means slope is -6/5. And then the point is -5, -7. Again, let's use the method 1 as we showed previously. So you can use the y equals mx plus b. So plug this into your, so this is the m you will use, and this is the point you will use, x, y. Okay, let's plug in. So -7 equals -6/5. X becomes -5 plus b. So here, this is my y, this is my x. So I plug this given point into this slope intercept form, and then we'll solve for b. So -7 equals, okay, that's cancelled. That becomes +6 plus b, and then you subtract 6 from both sides, so that's negative 13 equals b. Okay, now putting together my m is, so my final answer is y equals negative 6/5 x minus 13. Okay, 23, same thing. We have to figure out the m first. So m is y1 minus y2 of x1 minus x2. So that'll be 1 minus 0, 0 minus negative 3. This is, sorry, you can call whichever you like to call as the first point. It really doesn't matter. Just, as long as you use the same order. We usually call the point, first point as x1, y1, and the second point as x2, y2, but it really doesn't matter. So I'll have 1 over 3. And then this b, from the given condition, you can see, okay, because I have 0, 1, so it really means my b is 1. So my equation just y equals 1/3 x plus 1. So it's kind of a very quick problem if you can see that the b is given actually. So 24 to find the from the story problem, we have the 2 points. So 0, 65.9, which means in year 1994 the life expectancy is 65.9, and then in 2001, which is 7 years later, the life expectancy is 8.5. So you are given 2 conditions. You have to write them as 2 points. The first condition, that's the year, number of years since 1994. Okay, and that's life expectancy. Well, how do I know my year? How many years since 1994? It's x. It's the first number. Well, life expectancy is the second number, because the problem notation, they say let E represent the life expectancy and let T represent the number of years since 1994, and the equation says you want to find this equals. That's what you need to find, and we talk about that. I mean, the number or the letter inside the parentheses, that's the x. So this is the x, or the first coordinate. Okay, so find m first, and then we can use 68.5 minus 65.9. 7 minus 0, which is, so use your calculator, that will be 2.6 over 7, and 2.6 over 7, if you use your calculator, that should be 0.4, no, it's approximately 0.4, yeah, it's 0.37, but because the problem asks you to use keep 1 decimal. Well, again, the problem, the nice thing is, the b is given. See, this is the b, because the x coordinate is 0. So my final answer should be E of t equals 0.4t plus 65.9. That's the final answer. So for 625, for x-intercept, we'll let y be 0. So I have 16 times 0 minus 4x equals negative 8, which means negative 4x equals negative 8. Divide by 94, and you have x equals 2, so that'll be 2, 0. And for y-intercept, we'll let x be 0. So 16y minus 4 times 0 equals negative 8, means 16y equals negative 8. And then if you divide by 16 from both sides, you'll have y equals negative 1/2. So that'll be 0, negative 1/2. That's the y-intercept. And then if you graph that, the line, so we have 0, negative y/2, okay, this is 1, this point, and then 2, 0 here, so, sorry, this is my line. Well, the last problem, you want to check if it's linear or not linear. Well, negative 57y plus 86 over x equals 0, because we cannot have x in the denominator. If you compare with the standard form, we know we should have ax plus by equals c. Well, here a, b are constant, but x, y are both on numerator, so you cannot have x on the denominator. That's why this is not a linear function.